Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to today's Pick a Card reading. Today, we are looking at what the person on your mind has realized about you or what they're realizing as we speak. And there will also be an extended for each group. I filmed everything already. I feel quite happy with these readings in the sense that I feel like there was a lot coming through. There's just a lot going on, and I'm quite enjoying being able to do a lot more readings and being able to be here a lot more. So anyway, thank you for being here with me. Besides that, the giveaway is still going on. I kind of forgot to mention it, I think, generally. But you can find information on that down below, but all you have to do essentially is be subscribed and comment. And this goes back a few videos, so if you want additional entries to win a one question personal reading with optional channeled messages with me, feel free to check out the other videos too. And any others I post until 11/11 essentially. And now it's 1/11 on the timing. So a sign for what? I don't know, but a sign nonetheless. So anyway, I will stop babbling now. I feel quite energized, even though I've just been talking for hours nonstop at this point. But thank you for sharing your energy with me. Thank you for being here with me. I feel really grateful that I get to do this. I really do. I feel like I don't say that enough. I mean, I don't know if anyone cares, really. I know you just want to hear me talk about reading stuff, which I did very extensively, but just as a side note, I am very grateful that you're here. Okay, now I will leave you to focus on which deck calls to you the most, and personal readings are also available, by the way. I don't know if I said that anymore, but I will now actually truly leave you to focus on which deck or decks call to you the most, and I will see you soon. Hello, my beautiful group ones, and welcome to your reading. Today we are looking at what the person on your mind has realized about you and about your connection. We will also be doing an extended reading for each group, but I will talk about that later on. And we will start with an energy check, so you can decide if this is the reading for you, if this is someone on your mind, if this is someone that you want to or need to know about. And if not, feel free to choose a different pile. If you feel your energy itself is coming through, there could still be a message for you, but in any case, take what resonates and completely forget about the rest. So let's see. I realize now I kind of put these not in the order I want to put them out, and I already feel this kind of heavy energy around this connection, but I think the heaviness comes from having gone around in some loops. There's an energy of stalling. There's an energy of confusion. Decisions haven't been made properly. If they've been made, they don't necessarily come with a certainty of being the right decision. There are boundaries in this connection. I think some self-imposed, but also some imposed by external circumstances, potentially distance. For some of you, this could also be some form of third-party influence. This does not have to be another person necessarily. It can just be career, it can be other responsibilities, it can be culture. But there is essentially an energy of we can't, not because we wouldn't want to. It feels like this. Let's get into the cards first. We have the Forest. The name Kelly may be significant. I don't know if you know why I said that or why that came to mind, but we have Libra coming out. We have the third house. Gemini energy could be significant, but it doesn't have to be. We have the law of unity, we have temperance, and we have 333 here. That could be a synchronicity that you see in relation to this connection, or a confirmation if you're looking for any. We have the well. We have a protection. And I actually wanted to put these here. We have the Panther. We have failure. I understand that the mistake is only an opportunity to learn. And we have the Eight of Cups. This person is someone who really cares about you, but they're not able to show you that. And I feel like there are a lot of reasons that they also have not fully made sense of yet. Like, they also are very much in their head. And I feel like they're in a place where they're overthinking a lot. But the thinking is not really going anywhere. It feels a bit more like they're spiraling. And they're not going up. They're not necessarily going down deeper either. They're kind of just observing where they are right now, where this situation is right now. For a lot of you, I think there are problems with self-expression and communication. I get the sense of you being met with a lot of silence and feeling rejected by this person in some sense. So for some of you with this Eight of Cups energy especially, I feel like this person has emotionally withdrawn or walked away. For some of you, it could be that this connection never quite took off the way you may have expected it to, because you seem to feel a potential in this person. You seem to feel potential in this person understanding. And I think there is a potential that you may see around you understanding this situation and what that might mean as well, because both of you have seemed to come into this connection with things that would get in the way of this connection. And what I mean by that is, like, your lives don't seem like they were perfectly in tune with each other. And I feel like emotionally and mentally, the baggage both of you have been carrying, it has come out in this connection. I think you, at the very least, are aware of this. You may have noticed some patterns in yourself in this person. They seem to be surrounded by a lot of fear of change. It's not that they can't go beyond the current level they're on. It's not that they can't see beyond their wounds at all. When they feel, they see. But they don't really allow themselves to feel that much. This person is very protective of themselves. They're very protective of this connection too, in a way. But in a way where it feels like they cherish this connection. They really value this connection. When you strip this connection of everything else, all of the outside factors, all of the fears, all of the blockages, all of the obstacles, all of the reasons they may come up with if you would ask them why not, or why is this not working. If you strip the connection from all of those things, there is a sense of deep connection and understanding that this person feels with you, but it's all surrounded by their shadows, their fears. And this perspective that they have, I don't think it's because of something you've done. I think in a way it is because of who you are. There is a sense of mirroring. Where both of you have likely felt like you haven't necessarily done the right thing in this connection or shown up as the best version of yourself. There may be some wounds around that. like feeling unseen by the other, unheard by the other, misunderstood by the other, because it really feels like there have been a lot of communication-based problems. They may act a certain way, say something entirely different. They may say something and then you think that's not the full story. There's this out of balance energy when it comes to what you sense and what they sense, how you interpret each other's behavior and what the other person is actually saying and what the other person is actually doing. I think there is a lot of difficulty kind of making sense of this connection. And because of that, I think there's a lot of difficulty making sense of each other's behavior as well as your own. You may not understand why you feel the way you do. You may not understand why this connection sticks out, or why you have maybe stuck around longer, or why this person is stuck around longer. There is something that still ties the two of you, even if this is not a spoken promise. They're coming through more avoidance, so I would say this could be a no contact situation or a very limited contact situation. This could be something you agreed upon as well. I don't necessarily feel for all of you like that this person just disappeared, but presence-wise, they seem a bit absent. Like they're not emotionally engaged in this connection currently. It comes out, but it comes out in flashes. It comes out when they let their guard down, when they're not focused on protecting themselves, because constantly defending themselves, protecting themselves, that takes a lot of energy. It's almost like they don't want to be approached. I do think there is some form of shame and guilt that this person feels. And this feels like it's caused by beliefs they've internalized around what they should be, especially things that have been communicated to them. So this could be a workplace situation kind of thing where there are certain rules that this person is expected to follow, or a mutual friend group where there are rules this person is expected to follow, family where there are expectations, roles this person is supposed to fulfill, and they're kind of just someone who is stuck in this image of themselves, of what they should be, and they feel that they are not what they should be. They are not who they should be. And if anyone gets close enough to see that they are not who they should be, who they think they should be more so, then I feel like they lash out, they push away, they resist. For some of you, this person could have just ghosted you, or they could have just almost not allowed you to speak, or if you have, they haven't really listened. It's not that they don't feel this connection. With this protection energy and this tree, I feel like this is a connection that is deeply rooted for them. It's something that has kind of almost been sinking deeper and deeper, even though they've tried to stay on the surface. But it feels like sinking in the way where you are a mirror, they look at you, and they see all the depth of the situation, of themselves. They see it, but they're afraid to approach it. They're afraid to kind of put their hand through the mirror. They think it's about putting their hand through the mirror. They think this is about getting close to you. That triggers them. In a way it is. But it is the illusion. Because I think this person sees parts of themselves within the scope of this connection that they don't want to see. They may have acted in ways they're not proud of. And that shame makes it very difficult to approach this connection. It's not that they don't feel a connection to you. It's not that they don't feel connected to you. It's not that they don't value this connection. It's not that it's not worth anything. It's that this person thinks approaching you means being triggered, being hurt, seeing parts of themselves they don't want to see. So it's easier to look away. But when you look in a mirror, what the mirror is showing is not what's inside of the mirror itself. It's showing you your reflection and where you are. It's showing you the room you're in. And that's what they see in terms of the death. It's not something outside of them, it's within them. And I think this person, as a way to protect themselves, they tell themselves it's yours, what they see. But that is a projection, and it's not that they're completely unaware of this. I think this person is a bit, I'm hearing unconscious in what they say. That's not to take responsibility off of their shoulders, especially if they've said things that were hurtful to you, if they've done things that were hurtful to you. It's not to take responsibility off of their shoulders, but maybe to explain where this behavior may be coming from. That it's coming from their own fear, that it's coming from their own pain about themselves, rather than being something that comes from you or something that has to do with you. It's that you are a mirror, and that's the thing. And I think this person is someone who's very aware of like the could be's, could have been, should have been, would have been kind of energies here. And this connection is still something that hurts them. I think that's something that they realize is that they are in pain. And the way that this connection is, it's not really helping them. It's not that the mirror goes away when they're not looking. I feel like, at least not in this case, because even if you have stepped away from this person or they've stepped away from you, even if the mirror is not in their immediate vicinity, it still exists. They've still seen it. They've still seen what it reflects. And they're still in that same room where they were looking in the mirror and not liking their reflection. With this failure energy, I think they are kind of in the middle of opening up, of blooming in some way. Because we have this temperance energy, which is not necessarily a rough energy. It's not an energy of movement, at the very least physically. But for me, temperance, with the flow of water imagery, it is something, there is something that still flows, even if it's not visible to the naked eye, even if it's not visible on the surface. And this person is realizing that taking distance from you, or staying away from you, or rejecting you, whatever the exact situation may be for you, that doesn't change where they are. That doesn't change what they feel. Time doesn't stop when they close their eyes. Time doesn't stop when they stop looking in the mirror. And this person is realizing that they're constantly having to actively push you away. That this is not something that necessarily comes very naturally to them. It's something that they have to do because a part of them believes this is what they need to do. So that's why they've been in this avoidant energy. I think they are in some ways realizing that this connection is not something that's just going to go away because they're looking away. It's not something they're just going to forget about. It's not something that is so fleeting that it would just flow away if they don't engage with it. It's deeply rooted, and I think that is one of the main things this person is realizing. And I think they're also realizing there's a lot of exploration they haven't done. Not necessarily from a perspective of feeling curious about themselves. I don't think this person right now is necessarily very curious about their own self. But I think they realize they're curious about you. They're curious about the way you move around them. Whatever that may mean for you. For some of you, you could actually be moving somewhere. For others of you, it could just be that you've been acting in ways that have shifted your energy, or that have just shifted your behaviors towards this person. And they're noticing that. They're realizing that there is a shift. And maybe they feel this because there is this deep sense of connection here. It's not that this person is emotionless, but they are not good at expressing them. I think a lot of what they may want to say may come out as anger because they are afraid of being hurt. And they don't know how else to fight something off. They haven't really had an experience where they could embrace pain. It's almost like they play it down in a way, like they play down their emotional experiences. And again, it's not that they don't feel them. It's that they want to be in control of what they experience because that's how they protect themselves. And that's why they've been protecting themselves from this connection. They've been defending themselves because they feel like they need to prove something. This is someone who doesn't, in general, feel very understood. And I think they do want to be appreciated. They do want to be admired. I think they are in a place in their life right now where they kind of are craving and longing for some form of external validation because they have depleted their own sense of security within themselves. I feel like they've also abandoned themselves. And I think they realize in some way they have abandoned you. I heard, I abandoned you first. Maybe for some of you, you walked away from this connection, but this person is realizing that they emotionally abandoned the connection. They abandoned you in a way that was very significant to you, that had an impact on you, but not just on you, also on them. And that's what they're realizing. I think they may have been under the impression that space makes it better. This divide makes it better, then they can be safe, but now they're just locked in that room that they don't want to be in. Mirrors can be portals. And I think this person is in a way realizing that, maybe not in those exact terms, maybe not in so many metaphors, but for some of you, I also get a sense of like, you may have been very forgiving or understanding towards this person, either in the past or you could have had a conversation recently, but there is a newer understanding of you are not as like against them, or you are not against them like they may have once thought. It's connection, it's not war. And I think this person has grown up in war, grown up with battles. And that has not made it easier for them to connect with others if all they've done has just been fighting or having companions here and there, but no one was ever really that committed. No one was ever really that serious. And when someone else, when you maybe have given them a sense of connection, given them a sense of I'm here, given them a sense of I'm on your team, I'm fighting with you, I think it's not easy for this person to take that seriously. Also because it's kind of an energy of they're also not fighting for themselves, they're also fighting against their own self. So it's a lot of just fighting against. I want to get into the tarot now. Also with Temperance coming out, I'm going to throw Sagittarius energy or season in there. And let me quickly tell you what we're looking at in the extended, before I forget, as I am getting rid of these. So we're going to start with channeled messages from this person. We'll get tons of channeled messages and see what they would say to you, if they could say anything at all. Then we will look at whether this person, actually, just expand on the channel messages a second, because I haven't filmed any extendeds yet, but I was thinking, essentially, we do channel messages, and then we also do what they would say to you if you could have a heart-to-heart, if they could be like entirely vulnerable. So we're kind of going to expand on that energy, essentially. We will also then check if they will reach out and what their intention will be, or what their intention is in general with whatever behavior you may expect from them. And we will finish up with a message from your higher self. Okay, there will be a summary of that. That was a bit all over the place, but I guess it's decided now, at least, so I know how to structure this a bit better. But the link is down below if you are interested. We'll also say this video kind of was inspired, even though I've done this video a lot, this video kind of was inspired by the song Astral Plane by She. It's been playing in my head this morning. The astral plane could be significant. Group 1, please. What has this person realized about group 1, please? What has this person realized? We have the 5 of Swords. I heard we have problems. We have a problem. We have the Sun, but that's not all that we have. Leo energy or season could be significant, but it doesn't have to be. This person is realizing that it's not all just battles. It's not all just constantly fighting. They also realize you're not on the same page about some significant things, potentially to do with life goals or what you expect from your life and your surroundings currently. Like a bit of an energy of realizing you may have different practical expectations from this situation, but that doesn't change what's at the core. That doesn't change the feeling of it at all. And they had mistakenly thought that it does. It's like their mind is... Are you listening to me while cleaning? Someone, at least. Kind of a random energy coming through. But I also feel like it's like the dust in their mind. It's like they're vacuuming. We have the 9 of Wands in reverse because some things have been burnt down. Maybe you've said something to this person and like, or done something kind of almost in a way that feels reckless. Like reckless in the sense of not necessarily entirely reckless, but something that I didn't even know. Bottom deck energy is the Empress. Taurus and Libra energies could be significant, but essentially this is something that would honor you, that would honor your boundaries, that would honor your relationship with your own self. And it may have been distancing yourself from this person. It may have been that you said something to someone and this person knows about it. The exact way that this information and feeling reach this person doesn't really matter. It's a sense of there is a new boundary here, or there are a set of new boundaries, new rules here. Something has shifted in the way that you are approaching this situation. And it could just be the way you show up, the way you carry yourself as well. Because something seems to have changed with your relationship with your own self. And it feels like you've maybe burnt some things down when it comes to this connection. And burnt some self-limiting beliefs that you may have had about your own self and about what can happen in this connection or what needs to happen in this connection. It's kind of an energy of relaxing and grounding in your own energy rather than reaching for something else. Feels like you're just going deep and you're not afraid to do it alone. And this person, they have witnessed it in a way. They've seen the fire, and then they've seen some obstacles burn. Obstacles that you chose to burn, that you chose to put away, that you, I'm hearing, demanded would just not be there anymore. This is really an energy of you coming into your own power. But this person, it's like they've witnessed a fire, and now they're vacuuming the ashes. And that is them realizing that there is an opportunity to heal. There is an opportunity to feel better. And it, in a way, I think they see this, oh, what am I doing? See this as it doesn't have to be that they do it alone. They realized, I mean, they already knew they didn't know everything about this situation, but I think a part of them believed they knew everything that they need to know, or everything that there is to know. But now they realize there was a lot they weren't noticing because these wands were just there, blocking their vision. We have the Tower, yeah. If there ever was a card of realizations, Aquarius or Scorpio energy or season could be significant. We have a lot of fixed signs. I think this person realizes even if things have felt wrong, they weren't necessarily wrong. It's kind of making an association of if that hadn't happened, this never would have happened. If we hadn't thought about that, I never would have seen that. If this person, if group one hadn't confronted me about this, I never would have noticed that. I think they're realizing it's not that all of this truth was not there. It's not that all of this truth was not available to them. It's not that they weren't feeling anything. It's that I'm hearing their perspective was wrong. And I would not describe that as wrong necessarily, but I do think it was heavily biased by a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of disconnection that they have within themselves. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse. They realize a lot of the problems that they have within this connection, or that they have when it comes to approaching this connection. A lot of the problems that set the two of you apart, that keep the two of you apart, it's not really things that could not be solvable. But they realize they haven't really been responsible in that sense. They haven't actually been doing. They've been thinking too much. And they haven't really been doing. We have the Seven of Swords as a bottom deck energy. They've been avoiding. They've been running. They realize that hasn't really helped. And they've always put that as, it's out of my control. It's not what I'm doing. But now they're realizing it was a choice. And that, in a way, makes this situation feel safer to this person. It's still scary, but it's a bit more comfortable that they actually have a bit of control. It's not that everything is just served to them. They get a say. I don't think they realize just how much control they could potentially have over their own life and over this situation. But I think they are in kind of the middle of that, of understanding that. We have the King of Swords. Look at how this King of Swords is like looking sideways at the King of Pentacles. This seems to be making them a bit happy, like happier, that they are maybe not as out of control as they thought. And it's not that they are proud of how they have acted. I don't think so at all. I think they're quite disappointed in themselves. I think there is an energy of guilt. I think there is an energy of shame. But they're realizing, in a way, this was not predetermined for me. I did this. I made this choice. And that doesn't mean I made the right choice now, but it means I have a choice. It means I'm not as helpless as I thought, which can be very liberating. We have the Two of Cups. This video is for you to ask about anyone, but I feel for a lot of you, this is a very genuine connection that runs very deep. It doesn't have to be romantic. But for a lot of you, I think it will be. In any case, there is a very strong sense of connection. They realize that this fire that they've witnessed, which may have been scary, because suddenly everything is burning down. Suddenly they're in a fire and they think it's going to hurt them, it's going to burn them. This fire that you set to torches, to wands that weren't necessary, that were getting in the way, that you decided shouldn't be there anymore. It may have scared them, it may have pushed them away, but fire doesn't make water disappear. So the emotions are still there. In fact, in a way, it's warmer water now. I think this person is realizing that not everything is as impossible as they once believed. Again, that doesn't mean they're not scared. I feel like they are still in a place where they feel insecure. They feel a bit insufficient in some ways. But they realize the connection that you have persists. It's not just going away. We have death. Look at this energy. This person is realizing a certain ending doesn't have to be the ending of everything. For some of you, it could be that this person experienced a personal loss outside of this connection. If there was no form of ending or no chapter finishing within this connection itself, This person is coming to this simple realization, but it's very important. It's that life goes on. Because I feel like they are coming from a very defeated place into this. Like they thought it was all done. They thought they were all dead. But this horse is carrying them out of their death. It's like it's a very significant energy of growth, of awakening, actually. It's like now they're getting to know their bones. It's making me think of Project Runway. Fashion could be significant, design could be significant, you could be creatives. It's making me think of Project Runway because I'm watching, it's all on YouTube now. I like to watch it when I knit. And I think I'm on 6th season, I don't know. The season with Bones. I love Bones. Anyway. Page of Cups. We clarify the Page of Cups. What has this person realized about Group 1? What has this person realized about Group 1? We have the Queen of Cups in reverse. This person may have, they're realizing they may have judged you out of their wounds, out of where they feel small. They may have judged you to be things that they are. And they may have judged you to be things that they are afraid that they are. And what I mean by that is I feel like this person may have pushed you away, told you you did this wrong and you did that wrong. They may have just never approached you in the first place properly because it's almost this fear of that you're gonna be like them, which is not a scary thing because they are not this scary person that they think they are, in the sense of like, it's kind of difficult to explain, but I kind of see it as a visualization, essentially. It's their inner child that they've abandoned. They feel abandoned because of themselves, their own behavior. They reflect that onto, they project it onto other connections, especially connections that feel significant and deep. And this creates a constant push, but also a pull, because this conscious effort to push something away, it doesn't make it just not exist, because they're pushing it away. They're not destroying it. And I think this person is seeing that they may have almost overstepped or overdone it. They were trying to protect themselves, but it got to a point where they were hurting you. It seems like they crossed a boundary that they realized they shouldn't have crossed, that they realized they didn't even see they were crossing. That doesn't justify it, because we are all capable of being hurt and hurting others. And we may accidentally hurt others too. But sometimes it's not necessarily the intention that makes a difference. If you break a vase, intentionally or unintentionally, the vase is still broken. You can decide if you are going to take responsibility for it, if you're going to try to put it together, if you're not. Essentially, we're all responsible for our own healing and the way we show up for others as well, through our own healing. And I feel like this person is realizing parts of this. Because they are realizing what the cause of this insecurity within them is. It's that something in them is lacking. I don't think they've identified that something necessarily. I don't think they have made all the connections. For a lot of you, this person may have kind of a rough relationship with their parents. Like an authoritarian parent, and a parent that doesn't really, or a parent that hasn't really stuck up for them. So they don't know how to stick up for themselves without just yelling or being very loud, without just stepping away from everything. They haven't really known that, because being alone is the only way they have felt some form of control. Because they have a lot more control over their inner world than they have on their external. But I think this person is kind of in the process of seeing that when you transform your inner world, the external is bound to follow. And I think they're also realizing that you're mirroring them, like in your behavior too, in some ways. They may think, group 1 decided this, but it was actually their behavior that they didn't take responsibility for before that determined certain outcomes in this connection, that created certain boundaries in this connection. Like they may have been making you feel rejected while feeling rejected by you, and saying, I am just this way because group 1 is rejecting me, because group 1 has done this, because group 1 did that. I feel like they're realizing that there was always a sense of assigning blame to things outside of them. You know, the 8 of Swords in reverse. But they're realizing a lot of this was just going on in their head. You have the 10 of Wands. And it's because they've already come into this connection with so much. It's not that you gave them this pain, it's that you turned the light on. I think that's what this person has realized, or is realizing as we speak, depending on the exact timeline of your situation. But I think this is now where we will take it to the extended. If you are meeting me there, I will see you in a little bit. And if not, that is perfectly okay. There is a giveaway going on. I keep forgetting to talk about that, but I will put it down in the description box. The giveaway is going on still. If you would like to win a 1-question personal reading with me with optional channel messages, comment down below and subscribe and like. I never really ask for this, I guess, but it would mean a lot, because the algorithm doesn't like me anymore because I'm not a consistent poster. So, but anyway, you don't have to, obviously, but would I be a YouTuber if I didn't ask for likes? But yeah, I'm gonna stop babbling now and let you go about your day or hang out with me a little bit more. But in any case, I am sending you tons of love. Take care and bye. Hello, my beautiful group 2s, and welcome to your reading. Today we're looking at what the person on your mind has realized about you and about this connection, and we will start with an energy check so you can decide if this is someone you want to or need to hear about. And there will also be an extended after this reading, but we will talk about that later on. So let's get into this energy and see who it is that's coming through. Starting off, we have the Siren. We have 2. We have 9. We have Strength. This card came out the moment I picked up the Cosmic Laws Oracle deck. So it felt very... I will explain also what every card is meant to represent, but there is a lot of energy here between the two of you, potentially a lot of attraction, and this feels like something that would have felt like very strong chemistry that would have felt very meant to be in a way. Something that felt deeply spiritual, deeply significant, something that felt very valuable, but something that has kind of fallen short of what it could be, what it could have been, because I'm hearing the concept of it was not really explored. It's, for some of you, this could have been a friends with benefits or a connection that you wanted to deepen, but this person was not able to kind of meet you at your depth. But we'll get into this energy a bit more. Let me just get everything out. I'm getting ahead of myself. We have the Rainbow Bridge, and I feel like this person could have also gotten ahead of themselves. Like they came on too strong, came on very strong, very passionate, very excited, very interested, and then they could have gone cold. Or they've kept at this for some time, but there is no substance to it. There is no follow-up to it. There is no proper sentiment of us. That's what it feels like, that this person could have maybe shown up a bit more selfish, a bit more self-preserving at times towards this connection. Like they say one thing, but they still don't change direction. They say they're going to change direction, they still don't. They say they're going to do that, they don't do it. They say, I will do that when this time comes, they don't do it. Or they give you the impression that they will. It's like they've shown up a bit unreadable to you. We have the Judge coming through. My intention was actually to read a bit off the guidebook for this deck in particular. Also because it's a new deck for me. But about the Judge card, when I was shuffling the Unknown Archetypes Oracle as well, I'm trying to name all the decks in case anyone is curious, but the bottom of the deck was also the Judge in that deck. I feel called to check the bottom now. Okay, it's not the Judge anymore, but we have Stillness, the Elephant, Peace. I'm a being of love and I release all negative energy, and we have the Six of Wands. So the right side of this reading is meant to represent how this person has shown up, and the left side is meant to represent how they really feel about you and about the connection, how they really see it. And at the core, we have them, just their essence, their being. And this person is coming across very attractive. And they actually are someone who can go very deep. They have this potential. It's not that they weren't born with it. It's not that they can't do it. This person actually has a strong sense of direction that stems from their intuition. They just always override that intuition with logic, with what they think is best, not what they feel is best. And they both have pros and cons when you weigh it, if we decide with the mind or with the heart or with intuition. But this person, I think they're not very good at weighing pros and cons necessarily. I think they're better at just applying rules that they have already decided are rules, whatever these rules may be. These may be cultural expectations. These may be expectations that they have placed on themselves. These may be that they have certain commitments that they have to stick with, and they don't allow themselves the opportunity to look beyond this. We have this Judge, and the eyes are closed. And we have this figure. I don't know if you see it. Is it focusing? I think they're acting from a place of fear, and that makes them hot and cold. It's not that they can't dive deep. I think they have actually gone deep with you, whether this was emotional or just kind of whatever they would define as a higher level of intimacy. Even if this happened quietly, there is something that's a bit like a riddle to this connection. that it feels like it should be much easier, but somehow it isn't, that you expected it would be easier because of all of this energy, all of this passion, all of this intensity, but they chose to, I heard they chose to be scared. And it's not necessarily that they choose how they feel, but I think it is a choice that they have made, that they are not going to undo certain patterns that they have. It's like they've already been made this way. This is what they're made of, and that's what they believe, and they've kind of settled on that. And nothing has so far been able to change their mind. And I think this person is still very much present in your energy, even if they're not physically around you currently. I think within this connection, this will be someone that has shown up seeking approval and validation from you, but most likely in invisible ways. It's not like they would just come out and tell you, hey, I feel insecure about this. Can you reassure me? Or I need support in this. Can you help me? It's not so much that, but it's more just observing you from afar, or observing you from a safe distance with their heart space, letting you see as much as they want you to, and being very careful with what they let you see, not because they have bad intentions. I think the intention here is just to protect themselves, to, in a way, preserve the connection as well, because this person, I think, seems to have a belief that if things get too emotional, they go wrong. If things get too deep, if things feel too intense, they go wrong. They end. They're destroyed. They don't work out. And I think this person comes in with a lot of preconceived judgments about this relationship, this connection itself. I think this applies to other connections they have in their life too, because how they've shown up like they just care about themselves and their life and how they feel. And they do care about themselves and their life and how they feel, but that's not the only thing that they care about. It's more so what they will allow themselves to actively, practically care about. But they can't really help how they feel. And I do feel this person feels very attracted to you. They feel very drawn to you. There's also a strong tinge of like just soul level attraction. Regardless of the nature of this connection, I tend to interpret them as love connections because, yeah, I know that's what a lot of you ask about. But for some of you, I get the sense you could resonate with this person as yourself. If you just tweak my sentences a little bit, it could be about your relationship with yourself too. Because in a way, and take that if it resonates, of course. If you weren't thinking this already, you don't have to bend it to fit into that. And speaking of bending and fitting into things, not like that. But there is this like energy of, they have to appear a certain way. They have to fit in a certain box. Everything has to fit in its box. And things that don't fit in a box, this person doesn't want to deal with. And that's not actually the truth, because this person is not someone that is like dull or boring. It's just that categorizing things makes them easier to deal with. It's that judging things based on what it appears to be is easier than risking things and finding out what it really is, because it may not be what you want. It may not be what you expect. It may be something entirely new. And what do you do then? You're not prepared. And I think this person acts out of wanting to be prepared, wanting to be ready for everything, but that has significantly decreased their repertoire of connections, of things. It's like one note. It's coming across like this connection is a rainbow and they feel safe in monochrome. It feels almost too adventurous to step out of that, even though their initial kind of instinctive feelings to you, the chemistry, the passion, the intensity, that's the truth of what it is, what lies underneath, and what they can have and what they desire. But they've convinced themselves that they are not worthy of this in some sense. Like, it's also not worth to try, but they're lying to themselves, I think. And that is, I mean, one thing this person is noticing is that they do have feelings for you. This almost feels like it needs to be said because it wasn't said and you weren't sure. This could be someone that you're getting to know and they're just not giving too much away. And it's not that they want to bring negativity into this connection. It's not the intention. But right now, they seem to be in a place of just feeling this gap, feeling this lack within. And that makes them become less able to bring anything to the table because they're already acting out of a place of lack. It's kind of an energy of what I have, like what I don't have, I can't give, I can't share. And this person feels a bit insufficient in some ways. I think they are coming across insecure, like they don't see themselves objectively. It's also interesting that we have this like red, I don't know if it's meant to be a ruby, but that's what I'm going for. The name ruby could be significant. They don't see their worth. It's somehow always like out of their sight. They have this inner knowing, but it's almost that they won't allow themselves to feel their actual strength, to connect with their actual self, because there are parts of them that they haven't really explored, that they haven't really accepted. This could have to do with sexuality, it could have to do with gender roles in some way, it could have to do with just a life that they were told they should have, that they learned they should have. They're not in a place where they've fully understood that their life doesn't need to fit somebody else's expectations, that they don't have to fit somebody else's expectations. They do have this idea that they would disappoint you, that they would hurt you, that they would hurt themselves because they have hurt themselves before. What they need to realize, and this is how it's coming through, it's not coming through as what they have realized. The exact timeline, time frame, the exact logistics of your situation will vary, of course, depending on your exact situation, but here it feels like this is what they need to realize, that they are worthy as they are, and they don't give themselves enough credit. For the sake of fitting into someone's or something's expectations, fitting into what they assume your expectations are, because it all comes from preconceived notions. It doesn't come from truly observing you for the sake of understanding what you really want, what you really intend. And maybe observe is not the right word, because I feel like even if you have told them, they would not really perceive it because their eyes are closed. Like, they are not willing to see it. They're not in a place where they can see it. They're not in a headspace where they can see it. It's like their vision is obscured by the fact that they feel small, the fact that they feel things don't work out for them, the fact that they feel depth doesn't come easily, and it doesn't. But this person feels like that means maybe it's not worth it to go diving deep, when maybe you'll run out of oxygen and you'll drown, and they don't want to drown. But they can breathe underwater. They just don't notice that about themselves yet. And this connection itself, I think they feel more comfortable, like they feel the feelings I think this person does care about you a lot, but they themselves are not willing to dive deeper in their feelings towards you either. Like there is an energy of holding themselves back. For a lot of you, this person could have been in an energy of just running from this connection and calling that doing what's right, doing what's best, being responsible, doing the right thing, showing up right. They don't necessarily fully see that they themselves don't fully believe what they're saying either. I think in some ways this person is realizing that they have certain talents, certain aspects to them, certain abilities, whatever these may be. This could have to do with a hobby, it could have to do with a career, it could have to do with a side hustle, it could just have to do with, oh, I give really good advice. It could be anything, really, but they're just discovering parts of themselves that they didn't realize were there before. And I think the way this translates into this connection is that in some ways, they're realizing the story is not pre-written, but they're writing it right now by choosing what they're choosing, which for a lot of you feels like they're choosing the easy way out. Maybe for some of you, they're choosing another connection. But they realize that they do really care about you and that that's not really going away because they're looking away. That's not really how it works. And this connection is coming across, it's coming through very strong, a bit intoxicating, a bit overwhelming, and it's demanding attention. They realize that there are things they have not been honest with you about. They have not said everything that there is to say. They've barely scratched the surface. Because I also feel like whatever they've said, they've kind of spoken out of fear. They've spoken out of anxiety, or they've just stayed quiet out of fear or anxiety. They do feel more comfortable just doing things and showing with actions, I think. But when they haven't made up their mind, that shows up as running, or that shows up as being wishy-washy. We have Leo energy coming through with strength. I also want to call out Pisces. Also Scorpio. And Aries with an N? I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but that's what I was seeing in my mind's eye. Aries with an N, and now I'm seeing Neptune in my mind's eye. So make of that what you may. And let's get into the tarot and look at what it is that they are realizing or have realized. I keep saying they're realizing, so maybe for a lot of you this is still like this person is in the midst of it. But first, let me put these away, and I will quickly tell you what we're looking at in the extended, because I tend to forget everything, and I forgot to mention the giveaway as well. There's a giveaway. But in the extended, we'll start with tons of channeled messages from this person. Then we will look at, we'll go as deep as we can and look at what it is that they would tell you if you could have a heart-to-heart. If they could truly say what it is that's on their mind, that's in their heart, that they want, anything that needs to come through. And we will then look at if they will reach out to you or what they're going to do, what's their next action, and we're going to look at their intention with it as well. And we'll finish off with a message from your higher self to you to fill in the gaps and yeah, just look at what it is that you may be missing. If you're interested, the link is down below and there is a summary down below as well. Okay, now we can get back to business If you are in marketing, listen up. That's what I heard. Okay. I'm hearing B2B. Okay. Group 2, please. What is this person realizing? We have the 4 of Wands. They feel at home with you. They feel safe with you, and I think they are... It's almost like a certain fondness that this is coming through with, a certain nostalgia as well, because for some of you, this person chose someone or something else. They thought the grass was greener, and this is such a cliche like thing to say, I know. I don't know if I've ever said it in a reading before, but it's coming through now also because we have grass here. But they thought the grass was greener, but there isn't even like grass where they are now. It's not even grass. They thought it would be greener, but it's just... It's just not what they expected. For some of you, again, like this could have to do with this person choosing another commitment, whether this is a person or just another situation, but you would already know about this if this is the case for your situation, so please don't be alarmed otherwise. If this reading resonates as being about you, I think this would be about not choosing yourself and choosing someone or something else, but you are your home. Like there is a very deep, fond, pure connection here. It feels very innocent. It feels very deep. We have the moon coming out. Gemini energy or season could be significant with the Lovers coming out. For some of you, I think this connection never took off. Like, it was just promises, and it was just what could have been and should have been and would have been, might have been, but it never really quite was. And when I was pulling cards for you first, I kept hearing wait. And then I asked, is it wait as in like wait for me? Like waiting? Or like the weight of something? The answer I got was a King of Pentacles upright, and that makes me feel like this person, what was coming through was weight, as the weight of something, and I think that has been the weight of their own actions, the weight of their own decisions. They're realizing that they made the choices they did, and they were not really the right choices, or what they said were the right choices. They may have ended this connection prematurely or run from it prematurely because they didn't want to get hurt, but then what do they realize? This actually hurts. And this potentially hurts more than what could have been, because I think part of them feels like they'll never know what could have been because they didn't give it a chance. And uncertainty, they can't deal very well with it. They realize that now, that it didn't have to be that they didn't give it a chance. They didn't consider it properly, this connection. They didn't think it through, even though they were saying that. Now they're realizing they didn't really think this through. We have the King of Swords. They didn't really think it through. They just gave a decision. And then they stuck with it because they think they need to make all decisions logically. But they didn't consider all aspects of this situation. They didn't really consider how they would feel without this connection. I think they mainly focused on what they would feel with it, that it would require accountability, honesty, vulnerability, that they are not in a place where they're able to properly embody this energy, where they're able to give this energy, not even to themselves, but even less so to someone else. And I think that is becoming very obvious to this person. Well, not very obvious, but obvious enough. Group 2, please. What is this person realizing about my group 2s? Eastern Europe could be significant. That's all I'm seeing in my mind's eye. Or the initials EE. We have the Queen of Swords. They realize you're holding them accountable. Look at how this queen is just like staring at the king. I think this also means they realize that you have an expectation from them. Even if they told you not to, that hasn't really changed that energy, that you expect something from them. They realize you're not going to act because you know you don't have to. And if this applies like to your own energy, if I'm talking about like you approaching yourself essentially, I think this has a lot to do with, it's not like, it's kind of like your higher self, your essence, your core. It's always there. And it's always possible for you to reconnect. It's not that it's gone away. I don't think this person necessarily, like if this is a person outside of you, I don't think it's necessarily that they're like, ah, yeah, for sure, group 2 is just waiting for me. I don't think that's a perception. I think it's more so that it's up to them now. And if this is your relationship with your own self, it is up to you to make decisions that connect you with you. Because that is the most important relationship to nourish and nurture. And that doesn't mean, obviously, nourishing other connections isn't important, but I feel like, you know, maybe even this message has a double meaning for some of you. But let's see, group 2. What has this person realized about group 2? I heard you weren't lying. You weren't lying. You weren't lying when you said I wasn't going to be happy. That's what they realized. You weren't lying when you said I'm not going to find what I need out there. You don't need to have said this necessarily, but this person, it's almost like they're having a moment of truth in their head with you. They're like, you were right. Or you called it, or you knew, or you wanted to try, I didn't. And I guess this is why, because you knew. They realized you knew more than, like, you understood more than they gave you credit for. We have the Knight of Cups. They didn't consider their feelings. They didn't consider how they would feel. They didn't consider what this would feel like to be without you, to choose differently. So now they're just looking back. Looking back at the decision that they made. Group 2, please. Can we clarify the Lovers in reverse? What has this person realized, or what are they realizing about group 2? What is this person realizing about group 2? Oh. We have the Hermit in reverse, and we already had the number 9 in the beginning of the reading, which made me think of the Hermit card. Virgo energy could be significant. We have Gemini, Virgo, very headspace, very Mercury. Bottom deck energy is the Fool. Aries, with an N. They realize that they've been running. They've been doing what they think is taking a chance. But now they realize they were just running. Not really with a purpose. And because they weren't really running with a purpose, they didn't know what they were looking for. They didn't know what they had to look for while they were running. They didn't know what they were looking for on the other side. Just something that is greener, maybe. But they didn't really check if grass even grows on the other side. So they're realizing that their ways of thinking, their ways of deciding have not been entirely accurate. And they're realizing they kind of almost exiled themselves from this connection, from the energy that you were willing to give them. A sense of home, a sense of warmth, a sense of deep connection, a sense of belonging, a sense of union, a sense of celebration. The Five of Pentacles in reverse, which is again this coming in from the cold. Like they were out in the cold, you were opening your door, inviting them in, you had this fireplace going, and now they're out in the rain because they didn't choose this. It's like they pushed it away. They didn't see what it was worth. They didn't see what it meant. And for some of you, I feel like this person was inside. It was warm. It was cozy. And then they thought, it's too hot in here. I'm going to go outside. I don't want it to be this hot. I don't like it that it's this hot. And now they realize they're freezing. Page of Swords in reverse and the Five of Wands. It's not what they expected. They're hurting. And they played their hand this way. They had all the cards they needed to make the right decision. They just didn't look at all of them properly. They just didn't consider all of it properly. I also just saw 3344, which could be significant in some way or is synchronicity related to this connection. But with that said, I am going to now take this and take you, some of you, to the extended. If you are meeting me there, I'll see you in a little bit. If not, thank you for sharing your energy with me up until this point. And yeah, take care. Don't forget about the giveaway. So leave a comment if you want to enter the giveaway, essentially. Subscribe, like, all of that, all of the stuff. Anyway, I will maybe see you soon, maybe not. But anyway, for those of you coming with me, let's go hang out. And to the rest of you, I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, great day. And I'm sending you tons of love. Take care and bye. Hello, my beautiful group 3s, and welcome to your reading. Before we get into this reading, I have a bunch of reminders and all, but first I want to say this person is someone that does anything to distract from the main point. Often in readings, I have found I embody the energy that is coming through, and well, not entirely, but in some ways, in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like, I don't know, just a bit scatterbrained. And it literally just happened as I tapped into this energy. I feel like this person is thinking of everything else. They're doing everything else. They're focused on everything else but this connection. So this would be someone that you feel in some ways just not properly acknowledged by. Someone that has maybe avoided a confrontation, avoided responsibility, avoided showing up authentically, genuinely, honestly. It's someone that it's almost like they're zapping from here to there. Very flighty energy. I heard desperate to be seen, but doesn't want to be known. Kind of cryptic, but for this reason, well, not only for this reason, but so you can decide if this is someone you want to or need to know about, we'll start with a little energy check. Before we get into that properly and entirely, I will just give a little reminder that there is currently a giveaway happening, and I will be giving away a 1-question personal reading with optional channeled messages. If you're interested, all you have to do is be subscribed and comment down below. Okay, moving on from that, there will also be an extended, but we'll also talk about that later on. So let's get into this energy and see who's coming through for you. We have the Hunter. We have Waxing Crescent. We have the number 7. I feel like a lot of numbers have been coming out today in particular. We have the Lonely Journey of the Priestess. We have Accuracy. We have the Shaman, and we have the Fish. Health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. We have Leadership and the Knight of Cups. I'm hearing enjoy your cola or your fizzy drink. I'm enjoying mine, but I'm having a ginger beer. So, non-alcoholic, by the way, in case you were, not sure. So, there's quite a lot unsaid in this connection, and I will quickly tell you what I intended with the placement of these cards. The center is meant to represent this person's actual energy, like their authentic, genuine energy. What they really are showing up as, well, not even showing up as, what they really are. And on the left side, we are looking at how they really feel about the connection. And on the right side, we're looking at what they've done, how they've shown up in this connection so far. And one thing that I find interesting about this Accuracy card, and I haven't really paid much mind to this before, but we have a lot of grays. And with concepts like accuracy and judgment, we often just have black or white, which we have here as well, but then we clearly have a mix of both, right? So I feel like this person has shown up like hot and cold, said one thing, done another thing. There's a lot of inconsistency. And in a way, this is authentic to who they are. This is accurate to who they are, because this person themselves, they are someone who is not consistent with themselves within. They are not someone who sees their own self very clearly. And because of this, in some ways, there is a sense of loneliness to them. Like they always have to do things alone, first and foremost, because they themselves don't give their own self support. I think this person is likely someone who may see themselves as a victim of their circumstances. I think it has not been that their circumstances have entirely been outside of their control, but they do have this armor coming through when it comes to their self-image, when it comes to how they present themselves especially, but this is tied to a confusion to their own self-image. Like they don't see themselves clearly, so they don't know what other people might see, because they don't know what is there, because they don't see it. So how could they ever get ahead of what other people may see? By wearing this armor. by wearing this strong, sturdy, shiny armor that makes them look a certain way, that makes them look powerful, that makes them look like they're in control, like they know what they're doing, and it protects them from anyone that could potentially see through them, that could potentially try to hurt them, that could potentially unintentionally hurt them. It just protects them from everything. But it also, I feel like this is almost an armor they always wear at all times. Like they wear it to bed, they wear it to work, they wear it to the gym, they wear it when they're hanging out with their friends. They're always carrying this heavy armor. They're carrying all of this weight, but they think, but it looks good, so I will wear it, I will carry it. Anything to look good. And that creates this discrepancy in this person's energy. It's mismatched even within itself. It's very defensive, even towards itself. And that's why their energy feels like it's zapping around. It's like they have no place to hide, no safe space. This is not necessarily an objective truth, but I think that's how this person perceives their current situation and this connection itself as well. Let's talk a bit about how they're feeling about you, because I feel like they have not taken responsibility for what happened in this connection. I think what happened here has been heartbreaking for you, or at the very least, just unpleasant. What happened exactly will depend on your exact situation, so I will not get into the details of what exactly was done, what exactly was said, but I can feel that it was hurtful for you. And I think this person has not really acknowledged that, or if they have, they've made it seem like it doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter if it hurts you. They understand that, but it is what it is. I feel like they have come across in a very uncaring way. That is one, because they are carrying so much weight themselves. That doesn't justify dismissing whatever it is that you may have said, whatever it is that you may have tried to bring to their attention, but to them, I think it makes sense to them, because they think, I have so much going on, I have so much I'm carrying. You may be hurting, but what about me? And I think there is quite a self-centered quality to their energy. I think this has come across as very hurtful within this connection, regardless of what their exact intentions may have been. There is a strong sense of rejection here. Rejection of this. Their energy is just very flighty with this fish. It's very slippery. I think you could also perceive something was not quite right. There could have been deception. They could have misled you. They could have broken promises. For some of you, it just feels like they weren't honest with their intentions. Or they just didn't say anything about their intentions and kind of left you hanging. Like they weren't clear. I feel like that's what it comes down to. They weren't clear and they weren't honest. And they have cared more about being in control in this connection than anything else. This person has not been concerned with connecting. I think they have enjoyed the energy that you were willing to give them, whatever it may have been. But I also get the sense that this person's actions have really disappointed you and left you shocked in a way. Not shocked as in this necessarily came completely out of nowhere. It could have for some of you, but it has maybe taught you that not everybody has your heart or has a heart like yours. And not everybody can embody as much empathy as you are and as you have been able to. For some of you, this could be a friendship where this person was just taking and taking and taking and was not returning your energy. It doesn't have to be. But out of all of the groups, I could see this one being kind of the most, like it could fit into any dynamic, like any label, this type of dynamic, where one side is taking and taking and the other side is willing to give and provide the entire ocean so they can swim freely, so they can be themselves, they can be who they want to be, and you will be there with them, you will look out for them, you will nourish them, you will care for them. I feel like you were offering a lot and this person just turned away from it because they were fine in their armor. Not happy necessarily, but fine. Maybe admired to some extent, maybe satisfied to some extent. But it's just been the external, and this person is, that's not all they feel, right? I mean, the external is just what they're wearing. It's not even necessarily what they're feeling. I think they are coming across quite stoic in some ways, especially with the softer, gentler feelings that they come across like they wouldn't authentically express these. They may express them as the situation calls for it, but it seems like maybe it has never been just that they have experienced these feelings freely, genuinely, and they have felt them so much that they just had to express them. I feel like there is always a limitation, always a I was gonna say laundry, but I meant to say boundary. Almost like there is always a boundary to what they express, what they allow themselves to do, what they will say, what they will feel. A lot of limits, and I think they are just self-imposed. The cause could be that they had a rough relationship with one or both of their parents as a child, or they may have had parents that were absent. It's that this person has learned that people won't look out for them through whatever means, so they have stopped looking out for people. That doesn't justify it. That doesn't mean this serves them. That doesn't mean it serves anyone. But I do think there is some aspect to this person's psyche that is that feels very out of their control, because it's something they learned a long time ago, and they learned it as a fact. They learned it like we know of gravity. It's just how it is. They have not questioned it. I mean, how many of us has just sat and questioned gravity? I mean, maybe you have. I don't know. Maybe I have. I probably have. I don't know. But there is just a sense of this person not looking, not seeing. And it's coming across very confusing. It's coming across very disruptive to your flow as well, to your journey as well. It feels like you've almost stopped your journey to see what you can do for this person, to see what you can give to this person, to see if you can be there for this person. But it's almost like then, like through appearing like, I don't know how to put this exactly, but it's like you might feel like at some point, like you would have just done anything that this person needed from you because you just wanted them to be okay. Like, I feel like you came into this with very pure intentions, very honest intentions. You just wanted to connect. You just wanted to be there for them. But they gave you the impression that they would be there for you too. Or they maybe never promised this, but it was kind of like an unspoken understanding that this is how a relationship works. This is how a friendship works. We have each other's back. It's not just one person carrying the other person on their back. And I feel like it is almost emotionally, at the very least, maybe not like materially or anything, but emotionally at the very least, I feel like you've carried this person on your back. even though they feel like they are leading this connection. In a way, they are leading this connection. I think they're leading it by not showing up properly and maybe having forced you to make some decisions, maybe to pull your energy back, maybe to focus more on yourself. And there is so much like untapped feelings that this person has. So much so that they don't properly feel their own emotions. I think they know they're often quite overwhelmed. They're often quite confused. I think that also shows in the way they interact with other people. They may be kind of reckless, whereas you may have turned quite cautious as a result of this experience, or just within this connection in particular. They're coming across as they've set boundaries with you, but I don't know if they've communicated these boundaries with you necessarily. They feel a tension with you. There is a sense of tension. There is a sense of pressure that they feel as well. And they want to cut through that. They want to cut through it. It's in their energy, the way it's coming through. It's they don't like to feel the tension. It is triggering to them. They don't like to feel like someone expects something of them. It makes them feel caged, even if it's just kind of a very valid, normal expectation, or if it's just something small. It's like anything can feel suffocating to this person. Anything can feel too much, too intense, because they're already at their limit with themselves, not with you. It's not something you've done. It's not something you've done to them. This is already what they came with. They're already filled to the brim, like with their feelings that they haven't processed. They're just gathering there. They're just piling up. Their armor is like filling up with water. And if they just open it up, if they just took their armor off, all the water would flow as well. But they won't. And that's the, I mean, not they won't as in they never will, but they haven't so far. I think this person is realizing, and I don't know if this is an accurate representation of this situation necessarily, or if it is an accurate representation of the situation for all of you, but this person is realizing you're going your own way. I think for some time, maybe they've left you hanging, or they've sustained some kind of connection to you. I think this was on purpose. I don't think this was unintentional. I feel like this person has wanted you to stick around in some way, or support them in some way, or be there for them in some way. This has been like their ideal situation where they can take from a dynamic and not give to it, where they can get away with things. But I feel like they realize that has reached a limit. That has reached a point where you are not trying to catch them, trying to be the water they swim in. They're kind of just fading into the background of your life because you are exploring other things. They're fading into the background of your life because they haven't shown up in the way they promised, in the way you asked them to, in the way you expected them to, in the way they could have. It's not that they don't have the potential. It's a choice that they are making. They may not realize necessarily that they're choosing this, but in the end, they are choosing this. W or C could be initials in this situation. I don't know why, but I'm just really drawn to the W and C. The toilet, I guess. I mean, the WC. This person feels a bit like, and this is kind of a strange imagery, but I guess because it's a fish, they feel like you just flush them down the toilet. When they were like in your nice personal ocean, now they're flushed down the toilet, and it's thrown them, like it's made their head spin. It's like they've been sucked out of this safety, now maybe there are sharks around them and no one watching over to make sure there aren't gonna be sharks. It feels like they realize they've lost something that felt quite safe and nurturing to them, that you've kind of taken that away. They feel abandoned in some way. And you may think, no, this person abandoned me. I just reacted. But because they have this perception of themselves as this knight, it's kind of an energy of thinking like I'm righteous in what I do. So they may have kind of turned the tables. And on that note, actually, I realized the decks I used, and unintentionally I flipped them around for your reading. I mean, the leadership card is still in the right place, but I used this oracle in particular and this oracle as well on this side. I know I used this one here and then this one on the right side, so that is flipped. It wasn't intentional. This is also flipped from the last group, but yeah, in a way they realize the dynamic has turned into something different. But let's continue with their realizations, and while I'm clearing this, I will quickly talk about what we're looking at in the extended, because I forget if I leave it to the end. We'll start with tons of channeled messages from this person, then we'll supplement that with what they would say to you if you could have a heart-to-heart. I am actually surprised with how much has come out in a way in the extended. They were both like 40 minutes. We'll see how it goes with yours. But anyway, lots happening in the energies. So I'm trying to keep up with everything by posting more nowadays. But yeah, after channel messages and looking at what they would say to you if you could have a heart-to-heart, we are going to look at whether they will reach out to you or what next action they will take instead if they're not reaching out. And we'll look at what they intend towards you in this connection as well with their actions. And we will finish up with a message from your higher self. If you are interested, the link will be down below. Okay. So, oh, interesting. The candle went out. I'm hearing game over. And I don't like that it's coming through as a game. I feel like it's kind of like, I don't want to say this person may have been playing games with you, but I feel some of you see it that way. And if you do, I feel like you have reason to see it that way. Group 3, please, Spirit. What has this person realized about group 3, please? We have the Hermit in reverse. Virgo energy or season could be significant. They realize they can't trust your energy to support them through it all. And they realize that you have moved away from them in some sense. Whether this is accurate, whether this is what has really happened or not, they realize you're kind of over it. They realize you're focused on yourself, you're healing. You're focused on regenerating your warmth, your light, because you are the generator of that. You are the source of it, whereas it's like you're the sun and they're the moon, in the sense that it is not their own light or warmth that they've been reflecting. Group 3, please, Spirit. What with this person? What is this person realizing? What has this person realized? We have the moon, just as we were talking about the moon. They are disappointed that they are the moon. I mean, I quite like the energy of the moon. I love the moon card as well. My last name is not Moon, which may come as a surprise, but this person doesn't see the moon as a positive thing. Like, the moon, to this person, it represents cold. It represents having blemishes, having flaws, because the moon is just not a smooth surface, right? And it's cold, and it's barren, and that's how this person feels in the energy of the moon. Not the depth or intensity or emotionality or intuition that it ties to, but they kind of perceive everything from this very self-limiting frame. Pisces or Cancer energies could be significant. We have the Star. They realize you're healing without them, and they're just kind of staring from the cold. They're trying to hold on to, like, the little bit of light that they have gathered from the outside, maybe kept from you, from this connection somehow. That will depend exactly on what support mechanisms this person may have in their life. But it's like, it's almost like they didn't expect you to say anything. They didn't expect you to leave. We have the 8 of Cups. We have the moon here as well. It's like they watched this happen. They watched you be pushed away. And now they realize it was real, that you really were at some point walking away, that you really were at some point pulling your energy away, that this dynamic really was not sustainable forever. Group 3, please. We have the Fool in reverse. Aries energy could be significant. We have the 7 of Wands. It feels like this person took advantage of this situation and your energy, your intentions, as much as they could, up until the point it just couldn't work anymore. It's like they promised they would work with you, they would do this with you, they would be there for you too, you would both take responsibility, but they didn't follow through. They just wanted the warmth. They didn't want the responsibility. They wanted to be free while you did all the work, while you tried to sustain the connection. I think they're coming across very avoidant now, like very guarded, very protective of themselves. I don't see them taking responsibility for how things acted. It's kind of an energy of, why did group 3 leave? Like, they realize this wasn't an equal dynamic, but they paint it as if it was, or they paint it as if it could have gone on forever. Because it was some sort of lopsided balance. Like, if you change the way you look at something that's diagonal, it can look like a straight line, but it's actually diagonal and not at equilibrium. And this person, because of their own perspective, because they were just tilting their head, they could have seen that as some form of balance, as some kind of equilibrium, as some kind of harmony. But the main thing they realize is that you are pulling your energy away from them, or you already have. Can we clarify the moon, please? Spirit, what is this person? Okay. What does this person realize, or what are they realizing? What does this person realize, or what are they realizing? We have the Eight of Swords in reverse. They are the moon. That's what they're realizing. And how, like, we have the Three of Wands with the sun. You embodying the energy of the sun, turning your back on them. That's what made them realize that they have been in the dark, because suddenly it's cold. Suddenly it's not bright anymore. And I think in a way this person had gotten so used to being in your light that they forgot how dark the world could feel, how lonely the world could feel without the sun around. Can we clarify the Queen of Wands in reverse, please? Queen of Wands in reverse. Queen of Wands. You're healing. We have the Three of Swords in reverse. You're healing. You're focusing on yourself. You're growing. They realize how strong you are. It's not fair you've had to be, but I think their mind is very scattered. I think it's difficult for this person to focus because now they have to worry about surviving. Now they have to worry about being taken care of. Now they have to worry about things they didn't have to worry about before. They realize it feels lonely without you. Can we clarify the Hermit in reverse, please, Spirit? What is this person realizing? We have a Star in reverse. It's dark. It's nighttime now. This person doesn't like... They don't like the night. They like warmth. They don't like looking at the sun. So it's like they like the sun to be around. They just don't like looking at it. They just don't like seeing things in the light necessarily, but they enjoy being surrounded by it, being nourished by it. It's not that they use the light of the sun to like look at their own wounds. They much prefer the dark in that sense, I feel, but it's almost like they want the sun around, but they're still gonna wear their knight's armor. And so they won't see their wounds. They won't see their true self, even though it's bright, even though it's a light. And maybe in the dark, maybe when they're on their own, they'll take a peek at what's inside their armor, but never fully take it off. Aquarius energy could be significant with the Star coming out. They realize they feel small without... They look different when they're not in the sun. That's what they realize. And that makes them wonder if they are who they think they are, or if it was just the sun that made them seem that way. Look at this. I swear this was, I mean, you saw me shuffle. I mean, I hope I was shuffling the whole time and then I just randomly stopped. And I was going to say I want to take it to the extended now, but the bottom deck energy is the sun. And I feel like this really is the energy that you embody, that you have embodied, that you were willing to bring into this connection. I don't think it was something that they could, I mean, I think it's something they accepted. But I feel like they haven't shown up the way you have, the way they may have promised. They may have promised changed and things never changed. Is there anything else that this person has realized? All right, it's time for the extended. If you are meeting me there, I will see you there in a little bit. If not, that is perfectly okay. And I hope this reading was helpful to you. I'm sending you tons of love. Don't forget about the giveaway. Take care and bye.